Hi guys. If you think back to the previous lessons we did, it was about arithmetic sequences. In grade 11, you also did a quadratic sequence, which was just the normal trinomial a n squared plus b n plus c. Now we're doing the last one, and then we've covered all sequences. This is the geometric sequence. Now, after this lesson, you'll know what a geometric sequence is. You'll be able to calculate problems with it, and unknown values, whatever they ask, you'll be able to do. Let's just see what this is about. It's still my terms, term 1, term 2, term 3, and term 4. N is still the position of the term. You remember the fourth, second, third. T stands for the specific value, the term itself. A is always your first term, T1. Now, the only difference here, there's not a common difference between the terms. There's a common ratio between the terms. Now, you remember when we did the common difference, D for difference, we said right-hand side minus left-hand side, and then we got our common difference. We can't swap it around. So we do exactly the same here. The only difference, we do right-hand side over left-hand side, because now it's a ratio. It's something we multiply with in order to get the next term. So instead of adding the D, the difference in arithmetic sequences, we now multiply with the R for ratio. Multiply by the R, and that will give us each next term. Good. And then you need to know the general formula. Let's just quickly see where it's coming from. You all know that T1 is A. If I now multiply term 2 with an R, because that's my constant ratio, and I multiply the next one with another R, it gives me AR squared. Look what happens here. That was term 3, and that was a 2. Now this is term 4, and that exponent is a 3. So if I get to my nth term, what will my formula be? It will be AAA, so it's still A times R, so it's just AR. We don't put a multiply or a bracket. We know there's a multiply in between. And the exponent will be 1 less than the little footnote, like in the previous examples. So this is my formula, AR to the n minus 1 for a geometric sequence. It's actually much easier than the arithmetic one. If you remember, the arithmetic one was much longer. So geometric sequence is actually in the end easier because it's small little formulae. It's chuff-chuff, you do it and you get your answer. Good. Now the best way is to do an example and to see if you understood it. Consider the sequence 2, 8, 32. Now, can you see they did not tell us what type of sequence it is? And this is the most important thing. Before we start with any problem, we must make sure, is it arithmetic or is it geometric? Because there's different formulae involved. If they don't tell us, I must go and find it for myself before I can do anything in the problem. So if I look at the first question, determine the general term, you agree with me, they asked me to determine Tn. But now I know 2 Tn formulae. I know the a plus n minus 1d for difference, arithmetic sequence, and I know the AR to the n minus 1 for the R, common ratio, and I do not know which one is this. So let's just get some space and see. If I just in my head, 8 minus 2 gives me 6. 32 minus 8, I'm not going to even work it out, it's not 6. So I can clearly see there's no common difference. So I'm going to try the R. I'm going to say right-hand side divided by left-hand side. This is now a little formula you have to remember. To get an R, it's a ratio. So it's right-hand side over left-hand side. That gives me 4. I'm going to try it again. Right-hand side over left-hand side. That gives me 4. Therefore, R is equal to 4. There's my common ratio. There's my first term. Can you remember the 2 loops in the arithmetic sequence? It was an A and a D. Now it's an A and an R. So now I can just straight away go and write down Tn is equal to AR to the n minus 1. And I'm going to say again, like I said in the previous lesson, don't think this is on the formula sheet. I'll just check my formula there. You are going to do so many of these that you don't have time to always check there. So make sure you have the formula in your mind and you know it. Write it down for each sum that you are doing. So by the time you get to exams, you will know that formula very well. You can double check on your formula sheet, but you have to know the formula on your own. So now I must just do the filling in. They asked me the general term, so they asked me Tn. I know what the A is, 2. I know what the R is, 4 to the power of n minus 1. There's my general formula. But now many times in this case, we can simplify it a bit. Because remember, most of the times, as in this problem, they ask you now different questions on it. So if you can simplify it a little bit, it makes life just easier. So I'm going to do this. I see there's a 2 there, and I see I can write 4 also as a 2 square. to the power of n minus 1. Now, revision of exponent laws. If I have two exponents hanging next to one another with the bracket, bracket means multiply. So now I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to 2 to the power of 2n minus 2. The minute I've got the same basis, I can just add the exponents. So if I add these exponents, I get 2n. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So there is just a much neater format of my formula. So instead of using that long one there, if they now ask me questions, I can just use this one. 2 to the power of 2n minus 1. It's just much shorter to use, although the original one there will give you exactly the same answer. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. So what did I do? As for arithmetic, I wrote down the A and the R because it's a ratio thing now. I wrote down the R formula, AR to the n minus 1, and I just filled in the A and the D. The A and the R, and then I got my formula. And if they now ask next questions, I'm just going to rub this out, because remember, you have to be able to do this all on your own. And then we're going to go to the next question. There is also the answer. Whenever we've done a problem, remember, the answer is immediately there, so you can immediately go and check your answer. Good. Let's just go back here and do the second question. I'm just going to write down the formula. It was 2 to the power of, what was it now again? 2n minus 1. 2n minus 1. That was the formula that we gained. 1.2 asks, determine the sixth term. Are they asking me the n or the t? Listen again. Determine the sixth term. So they're asking me the term. They're giving me the sixth one. Now, because it's only the sixth one, maybe you can just multiply by the R all the time and get to the sixth one, because it's not so many, but we rather practice our formula, because this is what it's about. In the exam, you'll get problems that you really need to use your formula. So we're rather going to practice that. So it's AR to the power of, and remember what I always say. If it's n minus 1, just in your mind say 6 minus 1 is 5. Then you don't have that little brackety thing there on the top. I do have my A, which is 2. I do have my R. You remember my R was 4 to the power of 5. You can now either do this, or you can use this formula. 2 to the power of 2n minus 1. And what is the n in this case? Let's leave the n there. The n in this case is 6. So it's 2 to the power of 2 times 6. 2 times 6 minus 1. Be very careful. That little minus 1, many times people bring it down and then it looks like a normal minus 1. It's a little exponential minus 1. So if you work out this one, or if you work out this one, you're going to get exactly the same answer. Maybe this one is easier. 2 times 6 is 12, minus 1 is 11. So remember, that's a 6 there, because it's term 6. So it's 2 to the power of 11. Just to make sure you can do it on your calculator, you press 2, and then there's a little button that says x to the power of a little block. You press that block, you want the power of 11, and you press the equal sign, and that will give me 2048. If you click all of those on your calculator, you'll see you get exactly the same answer, 2048. So that is then your sixth term. Good. The last question, 1.3. They ask you, what position is 3, 2, 7, 6, 8. So now they give you a very big fat number, and they ask you, what is the position of this term? So what are they giving you? The term itself. They're asking you, what is its position? The position is always the n. I'm going to write down my Tn is equal to AR to the n minus 1, or you could use that one. Remember what I said? You can also use that one, 2 to the power of 2n minus 1, whichever one you prefer. And now I can fill in. Let's just do this one first, because it's got less to fill in. I've got 3, 2, 7, 6, 8. And there I've got 2 to the power of 2n minus 1. Be careful for that 2n minus 1. It's in the air. Now I've got a little problem. My exponent is now hanging in the air, and I need to solve that exponent. Now, if you do this side, you'll see it's exactly the same in the end. I'm going to just concentrate on the one now. If I have an exponent that needs to be solved, can you remember I now need to do my exponent laws, or I need to do logs, because exponents are logs, so I can use any one of the two. But in order to do that, I need, if possible, I need a 2 here as well. 2 to the power of something, because the minute I've got my bases the same, I can take my exponents down and I can bring my n down and I can solve for n. Now, I don't know if you know this on your calculator, but if you take your calculator and you slot in, let's just get a clear pad. If you slot in 3, 2, 7, 6, 8, you can do it with me. You press the equal sign. It's very important to press the equal sign to tell your calculator this is the value I'm giving you, and then you want to break it into prime factors. You would like to have it 2 to the power of something. Now, 3 rows down, the second button, there's a dot and 3 commas for time and minutes and seconds. Just above that, it says FACT, factors. So, but that's a yellow thing. So I need to press my shift and that button, factors, and it gives me 2 to the power of 15. Now, automatically, if there wasn't a power, we had to do logs, which we'll do later on in another example. But luckily, this one could have been written as 2 to the power of 15. And now I can just say, that means 2n minus 1 is equal to 15. I can equate the exponents. That's a law, a rule, and a law that you learned in exponents. So 2n is equal to 16. So n is equal to 8. So now you can write down, therefore, T8 is equal to 32768, the 8th term. Good. Now, if you do this one further, which I'm not going to do now, you'll see it on the memo. You'll see that I get exactly the same answer. Just in case you do not have a calculator, because if you don't have a proper mathematical calculator, you will not have that little button that says factors. Then you do this. You write the 3, 3, 2, 7, 6, 8 there, and you draw a long line down, and you start. 2 go in there once, 6, 3, 8, 4. 2 go in there, and you carry on and on and on and on. But can you see how long it's going to take you? Because there's 15 2's, and then you write 2 to the power of 15. But it is an option. That is what we did when we didn't have these fancy calculators yet. But if you have a calculator with the factor on top of that third button down from the top, you can just use that button. Good. And that was the problem. There's nothing more difficult about it. They asked 3 different questions here, which we solved. And we could use any one of the 2 formulae. Now I want you to go and redo it on your own without looking at any answer. That's why I leave this sheet empty. After you've done it, you can always go and check. There's the first answer. There's the second answer that we did. You can pause and you can look at it carefully. And there's the last one that we did, the 8th term. And that's that. Not difficult at all. Good. Let's do the last example. Determine the 8th term. Now, before I carry on any further, determine the 8th term. That tells exactly what I must do. I must determine T8. So I must determine the term itself, term, and they tell me which one, the 8th. So they give me the n. And there's my sequence. What do I always need when I do any sequence sum? It doesn't matter, arithmetic, geometric, quadratic. Those are the 3 sequences you need to know by the end of matric. You need to find the A and the D or the A and the R or whatever you need for your formula. They didn't tell me what type of a sequence it is, so I need to test first. So I'm going to test the R first. If I do R, I'll say right-hand side divided by left-hand side. If I do the other R, it will be 0.5 over 1, which is also a half over 1. So my R is definitely a half, and my A is 2. The minute you can write down these 2 things, I just do the loopy because in my mind, I need 2 loopies before I can carry on with my sum. Now I can pick the right formula. I can pick the R formula. Tn is equal to A R to the n minus 1. And I can fill in what I have. So I fill in. They told me it's the 8th term I want. I have the A, which is 2. I have the R, which is a half. I have 8 minus 1, which is just 7. Remember? You can just, instead of writing 8 minus 1, just write the 7 there. Good. Now, in order to simplify this, you can grab your calculator, or you can make it easy. You can say this is 2 over 2 to the power of 7. Do you agree with me? If I multiply that little exponent inside, 1 to the power of anything just stays 1, and 1 times 2 is 2 on top, and the 7 at the bottom, and your exponent law says, if I now do that, it will be 1 over 2 to the power of 6. And I don't know if you know, but this is something you should probably know by now. It gives me 1 over 64. Good. And if you don't know, you just click on your calculator, that button that says x to the power of a little block, 2 to the power of 6, and it will give you. Just make sure that you leave it underneath the line because it's a fractiony thing. Because I'm multiplying by a half all the time, my answers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It started with 2. It's now 1 over 64. It makes sense because I'm cutting it in half each time, and that's why I get this answer. Good. I'm taking it off so that you can go and redo it all on your own. Afterwards, you can go and check the answer, and you'll see it is there. Just do not ever check the answer before you've tried it on your own. Even if you get stuck, try something on a clean sheet of paper. You actually can't get stuck. You need the A and the D, or you need the A and the R, and you need to write down the formula. Once you've written down a formula, you've got your sum started, and all you do then is to substitute. There we've given you exercises to practice some more. By the end of this lesson, you should be 100% fine with the general geometric sequence. I'll see you next time.